Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Sorry for the late videos. Rough stuff today, but I'm gonna at least get two out for you guys today, and then we'll see how the rest of the week goes. I really want to do an actual stream coming up this week, but we'll see how it goes. I don't know if I can do it. I really want to get an actual guest this time around because the guest would probably be better, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So, without further ado, guys, let's get straight into this. So, what we have here is just a sample of Trump really going after the Biden administration, or rather, Trump really trying to go after the pardons for the Justice Department because Joe Biden pardons are in question, considering what we found out that the Democrats lied a lot about Joe Biden's health, his cancer, et cetera, et cetera. So a lot of crazy things are going to be going on. So we're going to get directly into this. So without further ado, let's go. We have this here. It says Joe Biden's pardons investigated by Justice Department. So pardons granted by former President Joe Biden are under investigation by the Department of Justice, according to a report. Ed Martin, the pardon attorney in the DOJ, emailed staff to say the probe will explore Biden's competence if people were taking advantage of him through use of Autopen or other means, Reuters reported. Which would be another issue too, right? Because again, if we go with Joe Biden not being constant or whatever, it's like you get to see that that everything that he's been doing so far will be up in question. And if they did use Joe Biden, which is to juviate the people, the four of the people that he has, like Fauci, etc., that means all these things were being falsely done and not under by the actual talks with Joe Biden, which means they adjudicated themselves, which is against the law. So it says the investigation comes as public discussion about Biden's health and decision-making has reignited in recent weeks. Axios obtained audio from Biden's October 2023 interview with special counsel Robert Hur, which show memory lapses and prolonged pauses. Meanwhile, a new book by CNN's Jake Tapper and Axios' Alex Thompson, Original Sin, President Joe Biden's Decline, Its Cover-Up, and His Disastrous Choice to Run Again, suggested Biden had diminished mental faculties that aides concealed from the public. Biden, who was 82 at the time he left office, had insisted that he was fully capable of making executive decisions, and no evidence has emerged suggesting otherwise. However, critics, including President Donald Trump, a mechanical device that replicates signatures, which Donald Trump had claimed Biden may have used an Autopen, this probe could revive questions among voters about Biden's fitness during his months in office. So yeah, that's what's been going on here, and what we have this here with the Daily Mail also saying Trump admin opens bombshell investigation into Agent Biden's final days in office and prolific use of Autopen. Says Donald Trump has opened an investigation into whether Joe Biden was competent when he used an Autopen to issue lame duck pardons to family members and death row inmates. Ed Martin, Trump's ultra-MAGA pardon attorney, said the Justice Department has been directed to investigate clemency granted by Biden in the waning days of his presidency, including the December pardon of his troubled son Hunter. Martin's unprecedented probe was revealed in a Monday email to staffers that was obtained by Reuters. The attorney said the investigation involves whether Biden was competent and whether others are taking advantage of him through use of Autopen or other means. An Autopen is a device used to automatically affix a signature to a document. Hunter Biden, who was convicted last year of 3 felonies over an illegal gun, and the former First Lady Jill Biden have been accused of wielding significant power over the president in his final days, which we all know that Joe Biden would have immense power, especially considering his memory and all that stuff was lapsing or degrading over time. The prodigal son was treated like a chief of staff, despite being provably dishonorably unethical, sleazy, and prone to horrible decisions. CNN's Jake Tapper said in a recent interview about the behind-the-scenes health cover-up, Trump and his supporters have made a variety of claims that Biden's use of Autopen invalidated his actions because he was unaware of orders he was signing. So there's a lot of things here that we have to go over with the Joe Biden thing, right? Well, not a lot of things, but there are things that we have to address at the very least. Because, again, that means a lot of Biden's Autopen signatures or some of the things that he's actually done that, required his signature is up for debate now or up for question because, again, we don't know whether or not people were using him or whether he was just doing it himself, right? I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that, I think the Democrats were using Biden and their malicious ploy to gain power and do things that was obviously quite illegal. And if that is the case here, then a lot of these Democrats need to be put in jail and arrested. And this is a good thing that Trump is doing this because we need to get to the bottom of it. We cannot be having Democratic people, or not even just Democrat, Republicans as well, using Biden or using the president as some form, pretty much forging his signature just so they can get certain bills or other things passed, and completely ruining this country, right? Like, that's wild. We cannot be having that. So obviously these things need to be talked about, and what have you. So it is not known whether Biden used an Autopen for pardons. In March, Trump declared his predecessor's last-minute pardons void, vacant, and of no further force or effect. He also warned that members of the House committee investigating the January 6th riots could now face prosecution. Yeah, and that's the reason why I'm getting at this too as well. That the House members, if they were the ones that actually forced Biden to adjudicate them from being adjudicate or pardon, whichever one you want to use, from them being able to be charged with a crime, then they have another problem here. They have forgery of signature of not just it's not a normal signature, by the way. It would be a forgery of signature of the president to adjudicate themselves or pardon them from their crimes. So it would not be good if they were caught in doing that. And if this does happen to be the case, they're effed. They're going to be put in prison, and as they should. We should not be having these people be in full power here. Because the email stated that Martin's investigation is focused on preemptive pardons Biden issued to several members of his family and clemencies that spared 37 federal inmates from the death penalty, converting their sentences to life in prison. Just before he relinquished the presidency to Trump on January 20th, Biden pardoned 5 members of his family, saying he wanted to protect them from future politically motivated investigations. So the pardons went to Biden's siblings, with just, his entire family. And then on December, Biden pardoned his son Hunter, and of course he pardoned, I may believe, a few of the other January 6th people on the committee. So yeah, it is not great. So it seems here that this is going to be the case for the Biden administration, something that these people are going to have to be warned about or, highly questioned, because again, these are things that just are not looking too great here. Says Martin told to reporters last month that he viewed the presidential pardon power as plenary, meaning it is absolute. If you use the Autopen for pardon power, I don't think that's necessarily a problem, Martin said during a May 13th press conference, adding that he still felt the Biden pardons warranted scrutiny. The investigation appears designed to use the Justice Department to amplify questions about Biden's health and mental acuity, a conversation that has intensified in recent weeks following his cancer diagnosis and a new book revealing Democratic concerns last year about Biden's condition. But again, that's the thing, though, right? Like, it's not like a certain type of cancer that just that appears really rapidly, right? It's a type of cancer that takes a very long time to progress, and even you can catch this type of cancer pretty easily for the most part. So it's not like they wouldn't know about this type of cancer. It's not colon cancer, but I may believe it's prostate cancer, and it's obviously his cognitive. It's called cognitivity or what have you, has declined over the years. So if they were using him, I mean, yeah, it makes sense to have to investigate this. Whether he was being abused in this sense to sign things that should have never been signed or that he normally probably wouldn't sign. That's a huge thing. So, yeah. It ain't looking good here for all of this, and I think that this is a good step. Finally, we need to hold these people accountable. All right, that's just plain and simple. We cannot be having these politicians of any right or left, mind you, to really be having control over the president, making decisions for the president. It's supposed to be, advise the president, say, okay, let's do this or this might be the best way. However, that is not what's happening here. And if they did sign these things without Biden knowledge, or they used Biden or to sign these things, that's a huge problem here, and that needs to be investigated. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, guys, share. As always, take care, my friends.